Hello, in this video, I will demonstrate how to enforce attribute-based access control policy with Microsoft Purview information protection labels using Windows Desktop Enforcer. Windows Desktop Enforcer seamlessly integrates with Microsoft Information Protection MIP sensitivity label to enforce fine-grained access controls to Office files. To begin, let's view the demo setup. There are two users set up in this demo. Jimmy Carter is a product engineer and John Tyler is a manager. We will use Azure Information Protection Client to classify files with sensitivity label. Here, you will see that the files are classified with confidential or restricted MIP sensitivity labels. We will demonstrate three use cases. In the first use case, we will demonstrate access to files that are protected by MIP sensitivity labels. For a file that is protected by MIP label confidential, the user will be granted access to open the file if its title is Product Engineer or Manager. For a file that is protected by MIP label restricted, the user will be denied access to open the file if his title is Product Engineer, but he will be granted access to open the file if his title is Manager. In the second use case, we will demonstrate copying and deleting files that are protected by MIP sensitivity labels. For a file that is protected by MIP label confidential, the user whose title is Product Engineer will be allowed to copy the file, but denied when he is deleting it. If the user's title is Manager, he will be allowed to copy and delete the file. For a file that is protected by MIP label restricted, the user will be denied copying or deleting the file if his title is Product Engineer, but allowed to copy and delete the file if his title is Manager. In the third use case, we will demonstrate fine-grained folder access. For the folder Big Blue, the user can access the folder if his title is Product Engineer or Manager. For the folder Open Sky, the user will be denied access to the folder if his title is Product Engineer. However, if his title is Manager, he will be granted access to the folder. Now, let's move into the demo. Let's sign in as Jimmy Carter. On our local drive, there are some Office files in the secret folder that are either confidential or restricted. Let's right-click and select Classify and Protect to check the sensitivity labels of confidential.docs in Azure Information Protection. We see that sensitivity label for confidential.docs is confidential, and it is protected by Microsoft Purview. Let's check the sensitivity label of another file in this folder. I will check the sensitivity label of the restricted.docs file using Classify and Protect for Azure Information Protection. We will see that the sensitivity label for restricted.docs is restricted and it is protected by Microsoft Purview. Now, I will double-click on the confidential.docs file to open the file. We see that Word launches, and Jimmy Carter can access the file contents because he has access to files protected with MIP confidential label. Next, let's try to copy the confidential.docs file and paste it in the same folder. We see that Jimmy Carter can do so because he is allowed to copy and paste files protected with MIP confidential label. If I try to delete the confidential-copy.docs file, we will see that this action is denied because only managers can delete the MIP confidential file. Let's try to move this confidential-copy.docs file to the folder Big Blue. As you can see, I am able to move the file into the folder, and I can access the Big Blue folder. However, if I try to access the Open Sky folder, a pop-up will show that Jimmy Carter does not have permission to access this folder. And if I try to click on Continue to permanently get access to this folder, WDE will prevent me from accessing the folder. Now, let's try to open the restricted.docs file. We will see that Word launches, but Jimmy Carter is denied access to the file since the file sensitivity label is restricted. If I try to copy the file and paste it in the same folder, we will see that WDE prevents Jimmy Carter from completing this action. Similarly, when I try to delete the file, this is denied. This is because Jimmy Carter does not have permission to copy and delete files protected with MIP restricted label. Let's switch user to John Tyler, who is a manager. As John Tyler, let's look at the Azure Information Protection Classify and Protect for the restricted.docs file to confirm that it has the sensitivity label of restricted. As you can see, the file sensitivity label is restricted. Now, let's attempt to open the restricted.docs file. The file opens in Word, and we can see that John Tyler has access to the file. This is because the ABAC policy defines that a manager has access to a file with MIP restricted label. If I try to make a copy of the file and paste it in the same folder, we can see that John Tyler has permission to copy this file with MIP restricted label. John Tyler is also allowed to move the restricted-copy.docs file to the folder OpenSky and access the folder since he is a manager and can access the OpenSky folder. Here, if I try to delete the restricted-copy.docs file, we can see that this file is deleted, since John Tyler has permission to delete file with MIP restricted label. John Tyler also has access to the Big Blue folder. In this folder, we see the confidential-copy.docs file that has MIP confidential label. We can see that John Tyler can also delete this file based on policy. This concludes our demo on how NextLabs Windows Desktop Enforcer utilizes MIP labels as part of ABAC policy for fine-grained access to Office files, as well as folder access on the Windows desktop. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the NextLabs channel, and stay tuned for more data-centric security videos.